Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.
Production.
7 Mile Radio.
Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.
Production.
7 Mile Radio.
Warning.
You are now.
Go ahead, Willie. You on, bro?
Yo, really? America. Hello. I was waiting on my theme music. Nonetheless.
Yeah, so we can't. That's the thing about the video chat, right? We can't do two. That's yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. America, welcome to Face the Music, the show where we take your favorite song lyrics, break them shits down, throw them back in your face, and make you face the music. So check this out.
Now, where the hell did Happy go?
I'm here in studio all by my lonely. It's me and Mark. The two youngins couldn't make it this week.
Hey, Happy, you have. Oh, never mind. Go ahead and let you finish.
And Sister Happy Jump Bell skipped town. She is wherever the hell she is in the world, but we got a hold of her via Skype, Zoom,
Well, it's via
whatever the
video
hell.
or chatting her in. But hey, before we bring her in, Happy, I know you thought you was doing yourself justice by sitting in front of that window, but that's actually the worst thing that you could have done. You need to face the window. Don't have the window. Don't put the camera into the window. You need to have the light shining on you, not the light coming from behind you, because we see nothing but your silhouette. Well, the thing about it is you did the worst thing by sitting right in front of the window, the brightest spot where, yeah, so you need to like turn that around and have the camera where the window is and you where the camera is. So the light is actually shining on you and not into the camera. Because I don't see shit right now. See, now, yes, that's better. Don't never sit in front of a window when you do that and when you're on the camera. Yeah. I'm just letting you know. So now we can see you. Happy.
And America, just like that.
And
The
just like that, she
magic
gets
of
up.
live.
As soon as I put her on,
TV.
she gets up and walks away. All right, so now we back on So-So. What's happening?
What up, bro? America, we are experimenting with this video chat thing.
Well, they're experimenting.
Well, yeah. Mark knows what the fuck he's doing. The Face the Music crew has no fucking idea what's going on, but we gonna rock this joint. Just a little input into what it is that we're doing this week. We got another one of those gender topics, but not really, or at least not in the vein that you would think it is. This is not necessarily going to be one of those things this week where it's man versus woman. We're actually going to get to some of the similarities between men and women that we probably overlook, and it probably causes this big communication gap that we often have in relationships. We good? Good to go?
She just keep moving, and she ain't even in the camera right now. But yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we good to go? Okay.
Yep.
Happy, what's good with you, mama? What's going on? Where are you in the world?
I am in Chicago, Chi-Town. What up, though, Chi-Town?
Windy City. What up?
Yes.
D-Shy. What you got going on this week that takes you to the Shy?
Well, besides being a complete goofball and awesome member of this cast, I also am an advocate for our local community in Detroit for the community health center. So we had a conference this week, and I'm here for that. Everything ended today, so right now I'm just chilling.
Sweet. So you out in the world being a whole activist, huh? Love it.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Do what I do.
Appreciate it. Applause and kudos to you, man. Applause and kudos to you. Um, if it's okay with you, we just gonna jump right into the topic this week.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Um, America, if you see it on the screen, the topic is when a woman's fed up. Now, to be very, very fair, that topic's a little bit misleading because we got so much more to dive into this week on Face to Music. During our show prep, Happy brought up a video which we have the audio for. And Mark, is it possible we could go ahead and play that, because that's sort of kind of going to be the impetus for the entire show today.
Actually, no, we can't play that audio while the video. Nope.
Can't. Okay. Well,
Oh,
here's
man.
here's what, in essence, here's what the video said. It was from another podcast where these two guys were talking about a woman being fed up. And the point that was made was, when a woman is fed up, she doesn't, hem and haw. There's not going to be a lot of arguing. In fact, it would be the opposite. She gets quiet, she gets silent, and that's pretty much a sign that she does not care. Which led me to come up with this week's Face the Music Song of the Week, which is When She Stops Asking by the late, great, legendary blues man himself, Johnny Taylor.
Johnny.
Bad boy he was, I'm telling you. Now, let's get into a little bit of the song real quick so we could just set this backdrop real smooth, and then Happy, we could get on into it. The song When She Stopped Asking goes like this. When she stops asking where you been, you better quit what you doing and bring it on in. When she stops worrying about where you go, it might be a sign that the girl just don't care anymore. That's the hook. And that was pretty much the theme and the sentiment of the video.
Yeah.
Now, when Happy sent this to me, I watched the video and I had the song in my head, and my first thought was this. Yeah, the brothers are right in what they're saying. The song is true in what it's saying. But it's not gender specific. And I sent Happy a text to say, yeah, I get the video, but that sentiment isn't gender specific. To which she replied, cussing me out, called me all kinds of goddamn names that I can't even say on air.
No, I did not. No, you did not go there. I did not do that.
No, but I mean, in essence, Happy, you were saying, yeah, we know it's not gender specific, but it's something that you don't think that men pay attention enough to. True?
So yes, I'll say that. And I like that you said, I did like that you said it's not gender specific, because I feel like women should be enlightened on what it is that men do when they are breaking down in a relationship. When they finally got to a point where I'm just here because I've been here, but I haven't checked out. So there's certain things that men do, and it may or may not be the same as or similar to what women do.
Yeah, and that's really the crux of the show today, America, because, Happy, to answer your question, I would say in general, men roughly do the same exact thing that the video, the song, and what you were just describing, we check out and everything is cool. We don't care. You, hey, honey, I'm going to the moon. All right, see you tomorrow. You know, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The same as women don't care. Uh, the emotion is exactly the same. And the funny part
Right.
about that is the emotion is generally the same, just about whatever scenario you can bring up in general, for the most part, the emotion is going to be just about the same. The difference between men and women, I think, comes up in how we display said emotion. If the emotion is hurt, if the emotion is regret, jealousy, whatever, I think the only difference between men and women is how we display these emotions. But for whatever the scenario is, the emotion is generally the same. The
All
one,
right.
the,
So,
go ahead.
um, I'll probably let you finish because I want to tap into another portion of the video, a point that they had made that I think is an excellent, something that people really need to, and I feel like both men and women have this as a final straw, um, so to speak. So go
Okay.
ahead and finish what you were saying, and then I'll give this point.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask. Well, we'll go because I'm gonna ask this question to you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that women recognize when men are fed up? And maybe not you specifically, but in general, I know you done had the whole fucking girl and the tea sessions with your homegirls. I, do women recognize when men are fed up, or is it something that they even really care about? And that second part I'll bring up is important because I think it's a matter of conditioning.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I feel like if the woman is not that into you, she's
Mm,
not gonna notice.
okay.
Just like if a man is just not that into you, you can nag, you can stomp, you can throw temper tantrums. He don't give a damn. Um, so it's really all about, like you said, do she care? Do we care? Do we even care? So going into the first part of the um, snippet that of the video that I sent, they one guy said, "Yeah, now if your woman is nagging at you, instead of you just blowing her off, listen to what it is that she's saying, because what she's trying to do, she's pretty much pleading to you to change certain things so your relationship can be better." And I'm not talking about the nagging of please keep your underwear off the floor, because
All right.
after a while, as women, just just advice from me to other women, if it's some stuff that you know he gonna do anyway, and it don't affect you emotionally, don't complain about it. Shit, you know he gonna keep his drawers on the floor when you get out the shower. It's gonna be on the floor. I
Happy,
mean, these
happy,
are like what?
happy. I just got to
What?
point one thing out.
What?
This is like the third episode in a row where you done talked about shitty
What?
draws, lint on the balls.
No, I didn't say anything about shitty drawers. No, but it's an age-old nag that women do. Like, now,
Okay.
can you pick your stuff up off the
Right.
floor? Can you wipe
Okay.
the toilet seat off? Can you put the toilet seat down?
Got it.
At this point, we know they're gonna do that. Stop
Okay.
arguing about it. Let's just not argue about that.
Yes.
But
So
if
not the
she's
petty
nagging
shit.
about certain, right, there you go. I didn't want to
Hmm.
say it. You said it.
Yeah.
But if she's bringing up things at like I had a relationship of mine in because he didn't take time out to spend time.
Okay.
And I nagged about it. And how it ended, last straw, was he took time out to go spend time with coworkers that he no longer worked with, they all happen to be female. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I mentioned it, his response to me, I don't know why you always nagging me about this because it's not like you're gonna go anywhere.
Oh, so this was a matter of him taking you for granted.
Yeah, So,
Okay.
at that point you have to leave. But
Well,
if
yeah.
you care, right, if you care, guys, when she's saying she just wants some more time, it don't have to be a whole lot of time. Just show some type of effort. So it depends on what it is she's nagging about. If she's really pleading to you, asking you for certain things that in the beginning you were doing, just love on her a little bit more. She just wants a little bit more of you.
Did now I'm gonna take that in a whole nother direction because I don't find anything wrong with what you're saying. Uh,
Mhm.
the only, like I said, men and women generally feel the same emotions per
Mhm.
scenario in general. We just respond to them differently. And the reason, to further that point, the reason that we respond differently to those things is because we've been conditioned, male per female, have been conditioned to respond differently. And to further that point, we live in a world where that what you consider or well, not what you consider, what you called nagging, or that cry to get bring about a change,
Mhm.
men don't have the leeway to do that in general. We don't. And
I don't know.
if the scenario were
I've seen men
reversed,
do it.
well, if the scenario were reversed
Mhm.
and you weren't spending time or enough time with your guy, always got time for something else, took
Mhm.
him for granted, and he said
Mhm.
what you said,
Mhm.
he'd be looked at as soft. He'd be looked at as a punk. Uh,
By
and
who? By his woman?
in general, yeah.
He need a whole new woman because a man asking a woman for his time. Man, see, and I say this because what I've learned is that a lot of times we are in relationships that do not edify us or um, add anything to us whatsoever. We're mismatched all the time. And
This
we
is
live
true.
in a world that tells us to try work it out. Love is work. It when I say when you are in the right relationship, it don't feel like work. It don't feel like pulling teeth because you guys are equally yoked. And I know the church has really thrown that out there and used it, and it sounds cliche. But honestly, if you're with somebody that you equally yoked with, it is not that hard. It's not that difficult.
Well, about that particular term, I think the bigger issue is that it's just never really been clarified as to what
What
that's
they mean?
supposed to mean. And that's whether you in the church or whether you in the streets. People love to say
Right.
shit and don't know what it mean.
Right.
But that's another
Exactly.
story for another day. Um,
Right.
I, you're right. It shouldn't feel like work, but in that same vein, it is. And you're right. You have to want to be there, and it has to be for the right person that you're going to take those steps and make those strides. But regardless of that, even if you're with the right person, the the difference comes down to communication. And a lot of times, the way a woman communicates whatever her complaints or gripes are, is accepted, widely accepted as, oh yeah, I get what she's saying. But the minute a man goes to say what his gripe is, he's soft, or he's not a real man, because real men don't act that way. Real men, let stuff roll off their back and nothing bothers them. Except for the thing is, we're similar to the point where we feel the same things per situation. We just respond to them different. But when you have one person who has an avenue to express those feelings and the other one who gets sort of kind of shitted on when he tries to, well, it causes a problem. And I'll
And
say
you
it
know
to
what?
this end. Go ahead. I'm
No, go
listening.
ahead, finish.
No, not that it is an excuse, because some people are just narcissistic assholes and they do what they do because that's just who they are. But in some scenarios, one of the questions that we asked on one of our previous episodes was why men lie. And a lot of times, not all, I'm not even going to say most, but sometimes the reason for the lie is because there's little to no other recourse. You know, X, Y, and Z is occurring because I feel a certain kind of way about another set of X, Y's, and Z's, but I don't have an avenue to, you know, gripe or communicate with you without there being some kind of backlash or it being thrown back on me. And
Well, you know what? I just feel like we have to get to a point where we stand 10 toes down on however the hell it is we feel.
sure,
Suppressing how you feel is not healthy.
at
Being in
all.
a relationship where you're not appreciated, you're not heard, is not healthy. Once
Truth.
again, I have grown to understand it is okay to let go of some stuff that's not healthy in your life. And if you're in a relationship that's not healthy, that's not conducive to your emotional health, your mental health, spiritual health, all of that, you need to leave. We have been, when you talk about conditioning, we have been conditioned to stay in some stuff that does not um, that is not healthy for us at all. Women has been conditioned to do that. Men have been conditioned to do that. Oh, it's cheaper to keep her. Oh, men just gonna be men. It's
All true.
this stuff. This stuff it hurts us. It hurts us in the long run. Now, I'm not saying every relationship got to be perfect because ain't no relationship perfect. It ain't. You can have the best relationship in the world, friendship, and something is missing. Y'all might be broke. The sexual connection may not be there. It's something that's going to keep you connected to that person. However, you can't have um, anything that's I know we throw this word out a lot, toxic. If it's just wearing you down and beating you down, you shouldn't be there. I'm sorry. You shouldn't. I don't care who you are. You shouldn't be there. Not for the kids. You shouldn't be there.
I
Not
dig.
because everybody expects y'all to be together. You should not be in a relationship that does not that is
I
not healthy for you.
I don't disagree with it, but I would be willing to say if everybody took that stance at the same time, there's a
Mm.
very good possibility that most relationships as you know them would not exist.
And guess
Because
what? You guess how I feel about that?
hey man, I ain't
Because your
mad at it.
soulmate is with your soulmate is with that no good Negro that keep cheating and beating on her. His soulmate is with, you know what I'm saying?
I
Her
did.
soulmate is with this chick. You know what I'm saying? So I clap it up for that. Leave, leave.
I dig it.
I'm sorry. That's
I
my
dig it.
stance, and I might get backlash for that. I don't care
No,
because
I
I'm
mean,
tired. We keep
I
doing the
don't
same
disagree with you
thing,
on it.
expecting different outcomes. It's not gonna work. It's not. Just leave.
Truth, true. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I just know that, well, that sentiment probably falls on deaf ears. It may very well just be me and you that's willing to, think that way. Because everybody else,
But the peer pressure to stay together. But we have to, if we don't speak on the fact that we've been told and conditioned, like we said, to stick it out when it's not healthy for us too, that it is going to be hard for people to really understand when I say it's okay to leave. That sounds crazy. I know it's going to be some people that might have to going to be in the comments like, I can't believe you said, like, I stone cold believe in leaving a situation that's not healthy for you because it's a trickle down effect. How many people that you know have been affected by their parents' relationship?
sure, agreed, and scarred
Unhealthy
their
ass
own kids.
relationship. Yep.
scarred their kids as a result of them staying in a bad situation where they weren't heard, or you know they were fed up but didn't feel they had an outlet to express themselves. Yeah, this is true.
And
I
we raise other little people that grow up to
do the
do the
same
same
shit.
thing.
Yep. Let me ask this question. Oh, about that. Let me flip the topic on its head a little bit then.
Mm-mm.
Just because you griping, or just because I'm griping, does that
Mm.
mean that my mate actually did something wrong, or if there's actually something that they need to change? We just sat here, literally transitioned to this question from people grow up to be a certain kind of way because perhaps of previous traumas that were placed upon them.
Mhm.
Does
Um.
the griping mean that the mate is actually wrong and there's something that they actually need to change? It doesn't always mean that, does it?
It doesn't always mean that. You have some people, and I know we all know them. I'm sure Mark probably have worked with these people. You can't satisfy everybody. There are some people that just they gonna nag and gripe about every damn thing. You can stand on your head, spit out jelly beans, and fart out rainbows, and they still gonna have a whole problem.
That would be pretty impressive, by the way. Continue.
It will be, but somebody will still.
Somebody's still gonna be pissed about it because they looking for rain.
Right.
Yeah, I dig it. And I mean, and you brought it. I thought of that because you related to the beginning of the video where the man was talking about, if your lady is nagging you, it might be a sign that she might be trying to reel you back in to, get you to change this X, Y, and Z. And
Mhm.
when I heard it, I thought the exact opposite. Maybe she nagging because that's just who she is, and ain't nothing gonna be good enough. At which point in time you could find yourself in that same relationship, you jumping through hoops. Every time you turn around, you got to change your mo or how you move based on what somebody else thinks is gonna make them happy. That's equally just
So
as toxic, right?
exactly. So at this point, and I think the main thing he was saying that if you listen to it, the main point I took from it is to listen to what it is that's being said. Now, if you know, as you know, you have some people out here crazy as hell. If you know that on your off days you go out your way to make sure take her out, spend time with her, you do this, you do that, you know that you putting in this effort.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, okay. And she's still nagging, it's a problem. Just like I think Eddie Levert had a song where he was talking about how he go home, he makes all this money, but his wife or woman, whoever, was listening to the friends. You should have this. You should be doing this. So now she coming to him, nagging about this, that, and the third, and he like, listen, you got everything I
Right.
can give to you, and if it's not enough, I don't know what the hell to do. You won't have to leave. We have to
Yeah.
get to a point where if you know that you're doing that, you need to bounce because at the end of the day, it's gonna be their loss.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I only, I can't lie. This entire video, though, that, and I really wish we could have played it. Maybe we'll just post it on our page.
Yeah.
But it really sort of kind of struck a nerve with me. And the reason that it struck a nerve with me is because while there are so many similarities from an emotional standpoint between men and women, when there is
Mhm.
generally, it seems to me, in general, when there is a breakdown in a relationship, whether it be communication or trust or whatever it is, the automatic assumption is that it's something that the man did. And we know that that's not always the case. We know that it's always going to be on a case by case basis. But in general, you, I, I've gone to
I think it.
several friends I'll put it this way. I'm going to several friends, and I'll be having an issue with my lady. And the first word out of their mouth, mind you, whether male or female, well, what did you do? Wait a
And you
minute.
know what? I'm gonna tell you this. You're right, because when my girlfriends come to me with issues, I hear them out and I ask that same question. So what did you do? I understand he did this, but how did you react? What did you do before he did that? Because people are going to give you their scenario that makes them look a certain way, but they don't tell the whole story. I've caught I've caught some of my good girlfriends where I'm like, "You wrong, boo. You wrong." And you look at the whole scenario. So it's all about accountability. I want you, as my friend, if I come to you, I have this issue in my relationship, and I say, yeah, and he did this, and he said that, and he told me I made him feel like this, and you look at me and you say, well, what did you do? Give me what was it that you did, so it can come back on me, so I can take responsibility for my portion of it, because it's not all the other person. Even in your scenarios, it wasn't all her. It had to be something that you did as well. Not saying that
Well,
you
no,
were
no, no,
totally
no.
wrong.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I catch the blame off the rip, and not just me. Men will catch that blame off the rip. We could come, whomever we may be complaining to about whatever the scenario is. The first question is, well, what did you do? As in pointing the finger back at me. Well, what did you do? Wait a minute. How do we get to I did something? And this is
But see,
this.
I feel like that's normal. You should be asked that. I feel like you should be asked that. Not because you're the bad guy, but you have to understand this person is not all bad either. Because something about them drew you to them. So what in this situation that you did that escalated it?
And
Sometimes certain things
and you're
I
right about that. But sometimes you didn't do shit. You did
you and then
absolutely.
sometimes you don't. You're right. But it's still a question I feel that is a healthy question that if anybody who loves you that's not a yes man is going to ask you, well, what? So in this situation, what did you do? How did you respond to that?
I think that most people would probably be more receptive to the question, what happened, versus what did you do? Because it's sort of kind of, it is going to put you in a certain kind of space, certain kind of headspace, if there's
And you
blame
get
assessed
defensive.
right off
It's
the
just
bat.
convicting you as the assailant, the one that
Right.
the perpetrator, and all of that. When you never know if that
And
was even the case.
yeah, and I'm not even saying, hell, I mean, whatever the scenario may be, hell, maybe I am. But to immediately be the recipient of that blame right off the bat, that 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 leaves a bad taste in the mouth, especially when it's something that's so general. And unfortunately, while having these, feelings isn't
Mm-hmm.
gender specific, the assessment of the blame far too often is gender specific. And that leads to a whole nother ball of wax, which leads to more communication problems, more breakdowns in the relationships a lot of times. And
Mm-hmm.
how, how would you suggest getting around that?
Wow. I mean, it's kind of difficult, especially when you deal with people who have a reputation. And anybody can have a reputation. A female can have a reputation. A male
Hmm.
can have a reputation. But in our society, men have horrible reputations. Just off the bat. Let's just throw that out there. They do.
Yeah,
Because
this is all a part of it. Sure.
I even stereotype men. I had a friend of mine say, "Well, Happy, why do you think I would do such and such, such and such?" I said, "Because you're a man, and you haven't proved to me any other time that you would not do that. And it's not because I hope that you're this way. It's just that you continuously do little things that show me you're that nigga. So that's how I look at you." And and
You,
it's sad to say that.
and you know what? if someone shows you that that's who they are, that's one thing. Then yeah, you that nigga. That's because why do I think this about you? Because well, history shows that that's the type of shit that you do. Got it, get it, got it, good. Um,
But more so
you
often, men have a horrible reputation. So honestly, and I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. When it comes to men, I automatically believe the worst about you until you show me that you're better than that.
and you know
That's
what?
horrible, but it's a defense mechanism for me. I
And
automatically think that.
I get it. And once again, like I said, and the more we started this whole, thing out trying to come to similarities, and it's funny because the more I think and realize the similarities, I'm seeing that well the differences uh, they don't outweigh, but they outshine the similarities. And maybe that's why we have such issues because what you just said, I don't fault you for having that defense mechanism. But a guy, if a guy says what you just said, and I don't want to sound redundant, but we just keep coming back to it. If a guy says that exact same thing, then he's being hard on women. He hates women. It's always something where we're going to turn it around and assess the blame to the men. And I just don't understand why. Maybe this is just one of
Well,
those things that's a double standard and we're just not going to get over it.
it might, you know, it might be a double standard, but I'm gonna tell you where um well, in 2022, it may not be too much different. But for so many years, women been tagged as certain terms and names and been, stemmed in derogatory, seen in derogatory light just because a particular man or a group of men feel like they can't trust, women or
They,
all women are this unless they show me that. We've heard that. Women been hearing this for a very long time. As women, you traditionally try your best to see men in a good light. So you have always been told, oh, you're going to find your Prince Charming. So I think more recently, women have been more vocal with the fact of, yeah, so that nigga showed me he Prince Charming. I really don't believe that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of sounds taboo when females say that. And I think we say it so much now that we can have these conversations, and I feel like we're now in a space to where we both need to talk about it, and we both need to, when I say both men and women, need to come to an agreement that all women are bad, all women aren't this, that, and the third, all men aren't this, that, and the third, and why can't we get to a point where we expect respect from one another?
and I don't have an answer to that. I agree with you. I don't have an answer to it though. I'm not even gonna lie. Uh,
I
and
don't either, but I'm just saying, like, we got to get to a point where now, okay, we understand. What was that old song? I don't know. It was something about bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks or
oh
something
yeah,
like
bitches
that.
ain't shit but hoes and
Yeah,
tricks. Yep.
yep. So I grew up off of that. So I'm a female, and that's what I hear about me. Even though I'm not that, but that's what you hear. You walk down the street, guy try to talk to you. Well, F you then, hoe. You know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. So then when you get to a point where women are just standing up like, yeah, I don't really know. Because I done seen, you telling me he a good guy, but I done seen him do some bad things. So now we are blaming one another for different things when we need to come together and say, look, you need to respect this man, and you need to respect this woman, and we need to learn how to respect one another because it's
And
ridiculous. We ain't gonna learn. We're not gonna get nowhere if we don't start doing that.
facts on
Bare
facts.
bare minimum, we should respect
And America, that's
one another.
really what today's show was supposed to be about. Somewhere in there, I think we sort of got to the point. Um, we're we want the same things, men and women. We
Yep.
want that love. We want that. We want somebody to cherish us and put us on those pedestals just like we'll do for them. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we're similar emotionally. I cannot stress this enough. Men and women are damn near identical emotionally. The difference,
We're
and
human beings.
I
Yeah.
I will admit the difference being we've been conditioned to express that emotion differently, and that's just the way
That's true.
that's just the way it goes. But we have these same feelings. I mean, we've used the example several times on the show where when the little girls learning how to ride their bikes and they fall, the daddies and the mamas, oh, and they coddle them a little bit. Uh, when the boys learn how to ride their bikes, they fall, stand up, be a man. Boys don't cry. D-
Right.
the conditioning
That
starts early. Is
again
my point.
unhealthy.
Yeah,
Yep, it's unhealthy. It
yeah.
is unhealthy. I feel like the men need as much love. Little boys need as much love as little girls, and little girls need as much toughness as little boys because life is not hugs and kisses and rainbows and unicorns and lollipops. It's not. So we
hmm
all need to be conditioned to be able to take a licking and keep on ticking, but we all still need to be held and told how wonderful we are, how beautiful we are inside.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
No argument here for me on that there, man. I just
And let me say this one point too.
uh,
I brought up the song "Women Ain't Shit But Hoes and
mm,
Tricks" and all of
yeah,
that.
hmm
Men got to that point from hurt. It was from a place of hurt.
sure.
It's not like men were brought up
And
to
just to
think
be,
like that.
well,
Some
yeah,
might
just to be
have been, but
fair,
I'm just saying.
in that song, funny thing, that song in particular, yeah, the hook
Hmm.
goes, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. But if you listen to the verse that Snoop, that's a song by Dr. Dre and Snoop is on it. But if you listen to the verse in that song,
Hmm.
um, Snoop's girl is fucking around on him,
Right.
and this is how he comes
It's
to the
from a place of
conclusion.
hurt.
So yeah,
So I just wanted to be fair and say that hurt people. So it's a cycle. So we have to be mindful and come up with a way to start loving on one another. And you can still protect yourself without degrading somebody else. And I feel like women and got to that point, and I hate to see it, that these new songs, fuck free, whatever the hell,
fuck nigga
fuck
free.
nigga free,
Yep.
yeah, all of that, and
which is which is a whole
it's a
another conundrum in and of itself because literally you, to be a fuck nigga all you have to do is something that the woman that's calling you a fuck nigga don't like and you a fuck nigga for it's crazy
I'm just saying, like we just got to a point where the women disrespecting the men disrespecting the women. We can't love each other, man. We're
at
supposed to
all
love one another.
at all at all it's crazy well you know
From
what
now
man
on, I'm just gonna call you a fuck nigga. No, I'm just joking. I'm
well
joking.
damn appreciate it Shit. Well, I've been called worse. Boy, I'll tell you. I mean, I've grown calluses. This shit rolls off my back all the way. I done been called every kind of nigga you want to be called as a result of trying to make shit fair and equitable. Because I, like you, that's where I'm at with it. I want shit to be fair and equitable. Everybody to be able to live, breathe, and have a voice in a relationship. But
Right.
somehow or another, that has also turned me into a bitch nigga, a fuck nigga, a punk ass. I mean, all kinds of niggas. And I'm like, okay, if that's what it is, so be it.
But
But
you know what? I'm like this. I'm gonna love the way I love, and if
mm-hmm.
you can't accept how I love, I'm going to dismiss myself and keep it moving,
And again,
whether it hurt or not. I gotta dismiss myself because it's gonna hurt me worse to stay in a relationship in an environment that I can't be myself. It feels great to finally be in a relationship where I can be myself. And I'm weird and quirky. America see it out every week. I'm a weirdo. And I'm cool with that. I love it. And
You
I
are a
found somebody
weirdo.
who loves it too.
I love you to death, but you're a
Okay.
fucking weirdo. Yeah, you're right.
I'm a May baby. All May babies are weird.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
What's my brother's excuse? That nigga was born in January. Never
them niggas weird too.
mind.
Is he quiet? No.
No, love my brother, man. Proud of him. I'm just talking shit. But
I know.
you know what? There's not really much more that we could say on this, man. I think we could just lay this conversation down right there because America, at the end of the day, male, female, we're all the same.
Transgender. We just want to be loved.
We need
I had
that
to
love.
throw that out there.
So let's worry about getting to the love part versus trying to figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, and the words of trouble.
Let's
Getting
get
to
to
the
the
fucking
fucking
part.
part. Period.
Yes. Let's
That's
stop
that.
just getting to the fucking part and get to the loving part. How about that?
Let's get to the loving part. It's way more fun.
Let's get to
The loving part make the fucking part way more fun.
Yeah, because then
Happy.
you find yourself fucking in different places like the car wash and stuff like that.
In Chicago? Yeah. Hey. Aha. Got it. Hey, Happy. Thanks for beaming in, keeping us company,
For
man.
sure.
And now it's time to say goodbye to all our nigga friends. Mark, thank you for hooking this all up for us this week.
Marky Mark.
America, next week we will be back in full force
Hopefully we'll have a full house.
and on extra fuckery. We're gonna be coming to you post Labor Day, which means we will have been out partying, drinking, smoking, and doing a bunch of other illicit shit. And we'll probably have to start the show off with Happy praying for us.
Doing a bunch of illicit stuff.
Nonetheless,
Yeah, I'm gonna pray for you the night before and the Sunday before.
you should just pray for me for that whole weekend. I'm going in. America, this has been Face the Music.
Face the music.
In 7 Mile Radio.